Welcome back to my channel, and more specifically to this series where I cover the player's history on MTV's hit reality television series, The Challenge, a show which I clearly have an unhealthy obsession with, and judging from the outstanding number of people I found while making these videos, well, me and you might have the same problem. Today's video about Danielle Michelle Brown, better known as Diem, marks my 11th entry of this series, and it's a really special video that stands out amongst the videos I've made previously on this channel, as Diem's history on reality television is both inspiring and extremely tragic. Unlike my previous deep dives, Diem's journey on The Challenge will not be examined from a point of view of her physical achievements on the show and or her wins, but rather I will be mostly focusing on the impact she left by choosing to share her struggles with ovarian cancer, her determination to fight, her positive attitude throughout this whole ordeal, and her choice of turning what is nothing short of a devastating diagnosis into a way where she can help spread awareness, positivity, and most importantly hope to everyone following along at home. This is the story of Diems Brown on The Challenge. Born in Germany on June 12, 1982, Danielle Michelle Brown spent most of her early years abroad. Due to her father's military profession, the would-be reality star, her parents, and her 3 siblings frequently moved during the course of her childhood. Around the time Diem would start high school, the family would move back to America, where they settled in Roswell, Georgia. Following the completion of her high school degree, Diem would go on to complete a bachelor's degree in communication from Florida State University. It's here where Diem would join the Delta Gamma sorority, where her bright smile and lovely personality allowed her to make many lifelong friendships with her fellow sorority sisters. Diem would first appear on reality television in 2006 when she was cast to participate in MTV's 12th season of The Challenge, a competition series that gathers young, athletic people with big and sometimes controversial personalities in a house to compete in grueling daily challenges in hopes of winning large sums of money. And with that description in mind, it's not hard to imagine why Diem, who was 25 years old at the time, would be chosen as part of the new players introduced to the game. With her large, infectious smile, crazy dance moves which she would grace us with often during her multiple appearances on the show, and of course her stunning looks and gorgeous long blonde hair. I mean, yeah, I would cast her on the spot too. This excitement, however, brought on by her first ever reality television appearance, would sadly be ruined when Diem would receive a life-changing diagnosis of ovarian cancer, just 3 weeks before she was scheduled to start filming Fresh Meat.
4 weeks ago, I started having some pains in my side, and I actually had a surgery, and it was to remove the cyst on my ovary, and they found it. Raced to the emergency room, and I was having these horrific pains in my abdomen. And the doctor, before he even touched me, he goes, "What is that?" I'm like, "What's what?" He's like, "This bump. I can see the tumor. I don't even touch it." And so they did an ultrasound, and it was the tumor the size of a 2-liter Coke bottle. Within like 2 days, I had, the surgery, and they removed the tumor. I want to really be able to do everything physical now, because I'm not sure when I'm able to do anything physical again.
Aged 25 years old and freshly out of surgery, Diem would embrace the challenge, fly out to Australia, and experience her first season of a show she would soon be a regular on. Diem's first appearance on The Challenge would find her partnered up with Derek, and the two would go on to share a touching moment early on, with Diem opening up to him about her recent medical diagnosis and everything she had to go through secondary to that diagnosis.
I'll say it. I had surgery. I had surgery a year ago. They removed a cyst. No problem. 3 weeks ago, I had another cyst tumor. They had to remove my ovary, my appendix, my lymph nodes, and I have ovarian cancer. I've been through 2 treatments. One the day before I got here. I'm on the lighter dose right now, and when I get back is when I go the higher dose, and I'll lose my hair.
This moment of trust reinforces their partnership in the game, and it leaves Derek, who's a badass competitor, feeling like he needs to do everything in his power to not let her down, which is honestly just so sweet to watch. In fact, they get so close during filming that their relationship goes a little bit further than just being partners in the game, as Diem and him would kinda date during this season. This romance, however, sadly wouldn't extend beyond the show, but it's still very adorable to watch. Watching this season of the challenge is obvious that Diem is having a lot of fun, as she makes friends with pretty much everyone in the house, dances her little heart out, and puts up a really good physical performance alongside her partner Derek, as she faces her fear of heights multiple times, climbs walls and ladders, swims with sharks and kayaks across the rivers of Australia. All things which take a lot of strength to do, and it's really impressive to see Diem be so determined to compete. I feel like during this season she is hoping to prove something, not necessarily to everyone else, but to herself, ahead of the difficult fight that is sadly soon to begin.
I want to prove to myself that I am strong and that I can do everything that anybody else can do. This is a huge escape for me, and it makes me forget that I have cancer. So I feel like if I can prove to myself that I can finish this challenge, I can completely do the next.
After a lot of performances which allow Diem and Derek to stay in the middle of the pack, they finally managed to pull not 1, not 2, but 3 daily challenge wins back to back, which while guarantees their safety, it also gives them the power to nominate teams for elimination. And with Diem basically being friends with everyone in the game, this leads to a lot of hurt feelings and bridges being burned. And this sadly comes back to haunt them when Diem and Derek lose the last daily mission, leaving them vulnerable for elimination. An opportunity that Tina and Kenny take full advantage of as they send them in against Darrell and Ivy, in an objectively good move, as they have obviously proven their ability to work well together and have dominated the last 3 dailies, making them a real threat to win the final. Now it's around this time that Diem finally shares why she wants to win the prize money. She explains it's because of her massive medical bills that she needs to cover, which is why I feel like she takes the nomination so personally as she gets into a fight with Tina after getting nominated.
I need this money a lot. I have $60,000 in debt with hospital bills. Mindless, heartless. I'm shocked. I'm pissed. This means a lot to me. What's wrong with you? What do you mean? Whatever.
Oh, you got a lot of nerve.
I don't have a lot of nerve. I have a lot of smarts. And obviously you don't have heart and you don't have loyalty, so...
You know, Diem, you can
know
take
what,
your
Tina?
little...
You know what, Tina?
You can take your little anorexic ass out of my face.
Excuse me? First off, you have no idea what you're talking about at all. Heartless. And Kenny, your words mean nothing.
And I'm sorry, I know I complained about Tina a lot in my last video, but how are you gonna call a cancer patient anorexic? Like, my mouth dropped when I saw that part of the episode. And it's this moment here that solidified my extreme dislike for Tina as a human being. Anyways, Diem and Derek would go on to lose the race to Darrell and Ivy, sending Diem home. Her departure from the game, literally 1 episode from the final, is made even more heartbreaking by her last interview for the season.
Reality is now going to set in, and the reality isn't fun. Because home is not fun, and I don't want to start. The day I get back, I have to do the stupid treatments, and I don't want to do them. This experience let me be normal for 5 extra weeks, and I'm really, really grateful for that.
As mentioned earlier, the 2 moments which would go on to largely define Diem's tragically short life happen simultaneously to each other. Aged just 24 years old, Diem Brown would be chosen to be part of the new cast introduced to MTV's iconic series The Challenge, while at the same time she would experience symptoms that led to surgical interventions which eventually led to a diagnosis of stage 2 ovarian cancer. Now, cancer as a whole, regardless of which organ it affects, as I'm sure most of us know, is a life-altering diagnosis that often comes with devastating outcomes. But in speaking about ovarian cancer specifically with a stage 2 grading, well, that's especially devastating, as it means that the cancer cells have spread beyond the confines of the ovaries and have started growing in other areas within the pelvis. Hence why both surgical intervention and extensive chemotherapy is needed to combat the disease process. Moreover, due to the aggressiveness of ovarian cancer, cancer, survival rates for this kind of cancer, generally speaking, and irrespective of the stage, provide an even more grim news for people affected by it. Quote, about 78% of patients survive at least 1 year post-diagnosis, and over 60% survive at least 3 years after, and more than 50% live at least 5 years, and this is the updated guidelines. And I can't even imagine how hard it must have been for Diem learning all of this information at age 24, and actually hearing that this is happening to you and your body, and all the treatments you are expected to go through with outcomes that are unsure at best. In an interview done with Glamour's Erin Zimet, Diem responded to the question of what was her reaction upon first hearing her diagnosis by saying, quote, I stormed out of my apartment and went for a long drive, then parked the car and bawled. I had no idea why this was happening to me. I'm a healthy girl. I'm a vegetarian. I don't smoke. I barely drink. I kept thinking, I have so much to do. I'm not ready to die. Then I went on the internet and it basically said, oh, you have about a year to live, unquote. Reading this article, which was published in 2006, provides an insight on the battle Diem was about to face, and it's a really tough article to get through. But one question and answer was especially heartbreaking to read. Question: other than the diagnosis, what was the toughest part? Diem answers with, quote, telling my family, a few years ago my mom passed away, and I didn't want to put them through any more pain. I'm the oldest of 4 children, and I have become sort of a mother figure to my sisters and brother. I was especially nervous to tell my dad, and we're incredibly close. He's a strong military man, and I was terrified to hear his voice crack. When I finally told him, I could literally hear his fear of losing someone else. Then my sister Megan told me that later that day she saw him with his head in his hands, crying. That broke my heart, unquote. Once Diem had finished filming her first challenge appearance, she headed home and continued her battle with cancer, surrounded by her friends and loved ones. She would undergo rounds of chemotherapy that would slowly cause her to lose her hair, something which she documented and shared across her social media accounts in hopes of spreading a message of awareness and hope.
And we need to talk about doing chemo immediately. It was terrifying. I was looking in the mirror going, wow, I guess I am sick. I'm losing weight, I'm losing my hair, I'm, feeling the physical side effects, I'm seeing these lesions on my body. I'm like, I'm really sick. I viewed myself as this healthy, athletic girl, and I look in the mirror and I'm seeing this skeleton person that looks like they're dying. And that was the moment. It was like, whoa, I'm actually sick. Once I realized I was sick, I was like, all right, I'm gonna beat this thing and I never wanna see it again.
Diem Brown would be back to appear on the 13th season of the challenge known as The Duel. This season premiered in 2006 and was filmed in Brazil, and it would feature Diem after she completed 6 months of chemotherapy.
Right now, I am in remission from ovarian cancer. The whole odd side effects, lose the hair, blah, blah, blah. It's been about 6 months of chemotherapy, and 3 people have seen me without my wig. I've been hiding in bathrooms the whole time. But I know there's like a looming thing, well, you're gonna have to show them, they're gonna have to show them.
Diem's beautiful long hair is gone after her extensive rounds of chemo, and this season finds her sporting a pretty good replica of her original hair. But this wig is nothing compared to how stunning she is with her growing natural short hair. The reveal of her hair on The Duel is an iconic moment, and I have no doubt about that, but it's also kinda heartbreaking to watch. During the second episode of the season, Diem, who has been really excited to film her second season of the show, is faced with a unique challenge, with the players about to participate in a water challenge, forcing a tearful Diem to take her wig off on national television, something which she has yet to do even in front of her own father. In what I found to be a really touching moment, the other female players opt to wear swimming caps as their way of supporting Diem, and this moment on The Duel makes this episode a very memorable episode of the show.
I can't get this dirty, so I can't wear it, so I'm just nervous. It's the first time anyone's ever seen me without it, so being stupid. I do not want to cry on this one. When they got the swim caps, I know why they got them, and I kind of figured people were talking. They don't want to feel like a zoo animal. And taking it off shows vulnerability, and I hate being vulnerable. I'm playing with the stupid handkerchief, and I'm playing with the stupid wig, and I'm like, all right, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. And then I hear Derek, CT, you look good. And then I start crying because it makes me feel nice.
Diem taking off her wig and getting in the water, competing and emerging like the fighter she is truly one of my favorite moments on the show ever. Moreover, I feel like a lot of women can relate to Diem's struggle and insecurity about her short hair during the daily challenge. It's hard to explain, but as a woman with long hair, so much of my identity as a woman is sadly reflected in my hair. And I'm not even sure if that's something that's reflected in society or just my own self-image. But every single time I'm trying to look good, my hair is down and styled, and for Diem to go from her long, beautiful, and just honestly stunning thick hair to a short buzz cut, as beautiful as she still looks, is hard to watch and makes Diem an instant badass in my book. I guess what I'm trying to express here is that it makes total sense to me why she isn't yet comfortable showing her natural hair even after this epic moment, as the remaining episodes of the season showcases Diem in a bunch of fun-looking wigs in confessionals and during the daily challenges. And on a side note, I'm obviously not the only one who thinks Diem is a total badass, as CT, another player on the show, is starting to develop a real crush on Diem. Meet CT, who has the most 2000 haircut I could ever imagine. He looks like he should be sulking around, jumping from one tree to another, and maybe even glowing in the sun. Fans of the show already know where this relationship between CT and Diem is headed, all the ups and downs and the heartbreaking ending that is about to happen in a few years' time. But watching them meet each other, flirt, and dance is very sweet, although they seem to be on completely different pages from pretty much the beginning of this emotional roller coaster of a relationship. As Diem, who's fresh out of chemo, is not really ready for a full-blown relationship, and with CT being so into her, I feel like he misreads her intentions and reluctance to jump into a serious relationship into something which they are not, as he speculates if her flirting with him is all for game purposes.
I think Diem's a special girl, and she's been through a lot. I don't really try to pretend that I understand where she's coming from, but I try to make her feel like a sexy woman that she is.
When I first saw CT, I thought he was going to be a big jerk, and he's been nothing but a gentleman and a really sweet, respectable guy.
Well, I don't know what to think, I mean,
Then what?
1 minute I'm like, she's a genuine person, and the next minute I'm thinking, you know what? She could be playing me just as well, too.
I'm really not trying to push up on her. However, everybody's trying to manipulate everybody. And she's doing a really good job of it.
You want to feel pretty and you want to feel appeasing to the opposite sex. And right now, I don't feel so secure with myself.
Although that doesn't stop CT from picking her as his partner in daily challenges a total of 5 times, and their chemistry is so palpable. It's especially evident when Diem has to compete in a second water challenge, forcing her once again to take off her wig. But this time she's much more confident and comfortable, especially with CT being her partner, and oh my god, the feels, like I love them so much already.
But now the second time I have to take off the wig, and it's weird. I honestly have no emotion.
CT makes me feel so comfortable. I really want to win it for him.
As the season goes on, the two of them get closer and closer, and with each episode passing, it's even more clear that whatever is happening is far deeper than just a challenge hookup. It honestly feels like watching a romance movie, but way more real, and their first kiss, oh my god, straight out of a romance movie.
I didn't realize everyone could see, and I'm pretty embarrassed right now. Whatever. Oh, damn it, I'm so embarrassed. I thought I was going to be slick.
Please tell me how it is.
No, it was perfect. It was definitely #1 ever, best kiss in the world.
But all this happiness comes to an end when Diem finds herself being picked for elimination by Anissa after she loses a heights challenge. This happens after Anissa says to Diem that she wouldn't pick her, thinking Diem was gonna win the daily mission. So when Diem loses and Anissa finds herself having to choose between Diem and the only other female player left, who's also her best friend in the house, Anissa goes for Diem, leaving Diem feeling betrayed as she once again, and I say this with peace and love, but I feel like Diem takes the game maybe a little too personally, as she lashes out on Anissa. And I say that Diem might be taking the game too personally here because, well, she has yet to face a single elimination this season, and the other girl, the one that Anissa saves, has gone into eliminations twice already. That being said, Diem sadly loses to Anissa, and her exit literally 1 episode from the final again is very emotional.
Man, you really have
If you ever need me, you can call me.
CT has really given me the confidence and the push that I needed to realize I don't need to be shamed or scared. I feel so happy and so lucky and so blessed. Are you kidding me? I got to do everything I ever wanted to do and finally feel okay with being me. And you can't put a price on that.
Although Diem walked away from her second season of the challenge with no money and no title, she did gain a lot of support and love from the viewers watching at home. And most importantly, she gained back her self-confidence. And she continued to represent and bring awareness to a cause that devastates women's lives daily, making her a champ in her own way, in a way more special way. Diem's third appearance on the challenge would come in 2008 with the premiere of season 15 known as The Gauntlet 3, filmed in Mexico. But this time, Diem wouldn't be competing on the show alone, as her and CT enter the game together, having been happily dating for more than a year after meeting on the previous season. And while the relationship seems to be going strong in real life, when CT enters the game, he kinda turns into a douchebag. He gets on everyone's nerves from the first few episodes, including Diem's, as he is seen getting drunk, antagonizing people, and when Diem tries to de-escalate the situations he finds himself in, he kinda turns on her.
No. Who's the bad, who's not?
I don't want CT to be the bad guy because he's not. I've been with him for over a year. He's never done anything like he does on the challenges when he's not here.
Why do you want to make enemies on your own team? Why do you want to do that? Why do you think that that's
You're
cool?
doing that.
Why would you want to be rude to me?
I ain't be...
But that bull does not fly here. I respect you and you should respect me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do respect you.
I don't understand that.
Calm down.
No, I don't need to calm
Have a
down.
good time.
You play your game, I'll play mine.
Can you calm down?
No!
You're talking to me. You
Yeah,
calm
I'm
down.
talking to you. Someone I've been protecting for what, how long now? Somebody I've been doing my time with for how long now? When do I get mine? Yeah, right, walk away then. That's right, that's how you do it. You walk away and do you.
This season of the challenge is played in two teams, the rookies versus the vets, and Diem finds herself on the vets team, which is a really good place to be, as the vets effortlessly dominate the game, winning nearly all the daily challenges, ensuring Diem's safety in the game. However, the vets, or well actually mostly the guys led by CT, come up with a plan to get rid of their weakest players by throwing challenges, and when I say weakest players, I mostly mean from the girls' side. This plan, which in theory is meant to make the final cut of the vets team a stronger one, with the added plus of having to share the final prize money with less people, will come back to bite their team in the ass in a really ironic way. But meanwhile, it causes a lot of friction within the team, and with CT seeming to be the main guy preaching this strategy, he soon finds himself fighting with both the girls and the guys in the house.
I'm not gonna do nothing. Do anything. Do what? What are you gonna do? See? You do a lot of talking. What do you wanna do?
Shopping competition.
What do you wanna do? It's over. Whatever you got, go on. Oh, okay. You, Adam. I don't care enough about you. This don't understand. I want to get angry. I want to hurt people.
That being said, CT is not all bad this season, as he and Diem still have moments where they are clearly very into each other, and CT even lets Diem shave his head, in a moment which I really loved watching. And speaking of Diem's short hair, oh my god, I just love her short hair this season, as she does a couple of styles with it that look so cute on her. I'm definitely a fan of this era of Diem's hair. With the season coming to an end, both Diem and CT make it to the final, and they will be competing within the vets team, a team that has a large number of players remaining, 10 to be exact, versus the rookies team composed of only 6 players. The large number of players already makes it hard for the vets to function as a team, but to make matters worse, the vets also have Big Easy, someone who the guys had their doubts about throughout the season, worrying about his ability to run the final. However, because of his imposing size, none of the guys wanted to face him in an elimination, and this is why, despite their constant effort to quote-unquote trim out the fat from their team, they left their biggest liability, Big Easy, and in the final that error will cost them everything, as from the moment TJ says go, Big Easy struggles with the swimming portion, causing the vets valuable time. This is made worse when both the teams are tied together as they head into the running portion of the challenge, and it's during this long running portion portion where Big Easy's body begins to shut down, forcing his teammates to literally drag him and yell at him to keep going, even when it becomes very clear that he just doesn't have it in him and he is in fact not okay. With Big Easy looking worse and worse, he is then DQ'd and taken away by an ambulance to get the medical care he desperately needs, leaving his remaining teammates to continue the race without him. And not only do the vets manage to reach the rookies team, but they actually beat them, completing the final first. However, because they didn't complete the final as a team with Big Easy going to the hospital, their win is considered null, and the rookies walk away with the final prize money, leaving Diem and the rest of the vets feeling devastated. Diem's second appearance on the challenge was a really frustrating one to watch. The guy's strategy was too cutthroat and just unnecessary, and honestly very one-sided, with them focusing on sending the girls home, while leaving Big Easy, someone who they knew might struggle to keep up during the more intense portions of the final. Moreover, had they tried to work with Big Easy, giving him a break or two, they probably would have still been able to complete the final first, but instead they opted to drag and yell at their clearly unwell teammate, pushing him to the point where his body literally gave out. Overall, this was a very disappointing season for Diem, but it wouldn't stop her from continuing to appear on the series. Season 17 of the challenge, filmed in New Zealand and known as the Duel 2, would bring on Diem's fourth appearance on the series, and once again reunites her with CT, but this time the two of them are sadly no longer together. As Diem explains on her first episode of the show, she and CT had to part ways because she wanted to take time to focus on her growing career.
CT and I, we had an amazing relationship, but I saw CT treat me like crap when he was drunk on Gauntlet 3, so we had to end it. Like I told him, maybe in 5 years, I'd, get married when I'm 30 or whatever, but not now, and career first, and he hates those words.
Which honestly makes sense. At this point of her life, she's around 27 years old, freshly in remission, and is presented with amazing career opportunities. Post her reality television debut, she was at the time exploring new career opportunities as an entertainment reporter for both the Associated Press, Sky Living, as well as Fox News, while at the same time expanding her charity works and working on funding her own charity for cancer patients and survivors, something which I'll touch on more later. On the other hand, it's not hard for me to imagine why CT was so upset by her decision to end things throughout the multiple seasons they appeared on and will continue to appear on. As one thing is very clear when it comes to Diem's and CT's very complicated relationship, those two belong together, and it's because of all those complex, confusing feelings and emotions that things get really messy when CT hooks up with another player, Siobhan, during the filming of the first episode of the Duel 2. When the girls find out, they are quick to tell Diem about it, which obviously created a messy situation already, but things got worse when CT ends up blaming Adam for telling Diem, after he sees Adam and Diem having a conversation on the side. CT's reaction to this whole thing can only be described as unhinged, and it's an iconic episode with his infamous line of, "I'll smash his head and eat it."
Whatever, you believe whatever you...
I believe.
I tell you what, I don't care. It's not even important to me.
But
I'm not doing anything wrong.
I know, but I'm starting to think my feelings right now are important to you.
Career first, baby. I'm the one you want to be with, but 5 years from now. So what, you expect me to just sit around and act like I love you? You hit me, Dad, man. You ain't gonna hit me. You ain't gonna touch me. No, I would never touch me. Okay, don't touch me. Hey, don't spill on my face. There you go. You. Come on. That's it. I would never fight. You kidding me? Yeah. I will smash his head and eat it.
To be fair though, I feel like everyone is in the wrong here. From Diem being mad at CT for hooking up with a girl after she broke up with him, to CT hooking up with a girl in front of Diem, to CT losing his shit on Adam and physically attacking him multiple times, to Adam antagonizing an extremely pissed off CT. I guess all I have to say about this situation is that hurt people hurt people. And speaking of hurt people, it's important to point out CT's mindset coming into the season. Watching this whole fight go down is CT punching a wall, attacking Adam multiple times, and all the anger he has. So much though that it takes most of the guys in the house to hold him back, and they honestly don't even manage to do so. It's clear to me that there is more to this outburst than meets the eye, and it's heavily speculated by fans of the show that this extreme anger is related to the tragedy CT experienced on August 17, 17, 2008, with the murder of his brother Vincent Jr., which I mean, filming an intense reality television show after the loss of a family member in the most horrific circumstances is obviously not ideal, and I can't even imagine what was going through CT's head at the time. CT and Vincent's father would speak on the alleged events that took place the night Vincent lost his life on the Change.org petition he posted in 2013 stating, quote, "On August 17, 2008, my son Vincent Jr. was murdered in Vermont by a gang bent on revenge. Vinny was shot twice, once in the legs, then in the back as he was trying to flee. As Vinny lay helpless and dying, the gang attacked him. He was kicked repeatedly in the face and the head. Then they beat him with the same rifle they shot him with. He was bleeding so badly that his skull was fractured and his eye sockets were shattered," unquote. The murder and the fight that CT's family would endure for years to come in order to get justice for Vinny is long and complicated, and it's honestly beyond the scope of this video. And while I will not be going into the details of this case in this video, I can, and you probably can see as well, that CT was fighting a lot more that night than just his issues with Adam and Diem. That being said, CT would get disqualified from the season for breaking the rules of the show, and Diem would continue the season alone. Season 17 of the challenge sadly doesn't feature much of Diem, as she mostly stays safe, flying under the radar episode after episode, with her getting along with pretty much everyone in the house, even gaining the fun nickname of Diem in the PM.
You see Diem in the PM.
Her good standing with the other players in the house, alongside her good physical performances in the daily challenges, keeps her safe for most of the game. And it's all smooth sailing until episode 8, where Jen, who finds herself on the bottom for the week and heading into elimination, picks Diem as her opponent. She had originally planned on picking Anissa, however, fearing that the elimination would be a physical one and believing she would have an easier time taking Diem out in a physical elimination, she goes for her.
People think that I'm very nice, very polite person. When I go in the duel, it's a different person. I will not be smiling. I will not be thinking it's fun. I'm going in there and I'm going to win and I'm going to kick butt.
But Diem, who is determined to prove her wrong, goes in full of determination, and she even does a few practice rounds ahead of the elimination. And it all pays off as Diem kicks ass, sending Jen home and securing her place back in the game and in the running for the final. And I just want to take a minute to emphasize how badass this one was for Diem, because you have to keep in mind that Jen has gone through this specific elimination 2 times already this season, and she won both times. So Diem taking her out was a major confidence boost for Diem, who is generally not seen as a physical competitor. Sadly, all of those heights are followed by an extreme low, when once again Diem finds herself going home 1 episode from the final. It sadly now has become a tradition for Diem to get eliminated so close to the final, and it's so annoying. I just want to see this girl run a final, and no, the gauntlet final doesn't really count in my book. Diem's departure from this season happens when TJ announces the twist that there will be 1 more elimination round before the players can run the final, and the girls have to vote someone in. Anissa, Brittany, and Rachel all choose Diem to go in, and she chooses to go in against Brittany in another pushover elimination. This time she's sadly unable to bring home the wins, ending her time on the duel too.
I know more than anything that I can win this final. I can win. I can win it. And it was just taken away in 2 seconds. I think that this challenge has been awesome because I got pushed to the limit when it came to heights. I realized that CT is not the person I will end up with. And I think I've done a good job playing the game with a good heart and not playing the game dirty.
Diem's 5th appearance on the challenge would have her traveling to Thailand to compete on season 18 known as The Ruins. And while the season showcases her in a leading position on her team, her time on the show would be sadly cut very short, as she exits the game during the 1st episode after losing to Tanya in an elimination round. Now obviously this is a very disappointing turn of events for Diem. However, her next appearance on the challenge is by far my favorite season she will ever go on to do. And it all takes place during the filming of season 22 of the challenge known as Battle of the Exes. And as the name suggests, the season would have Diem competing in a team with her ex CT, and oh my god, I just love them together. And they're honestly pretty well matched physically. I get that Diem isn't the strongest in physical eliminations, but she has endurance and determination, and the goal is obviously very fit. And during the season, it definitely shows, as her and CT are the dream team. Although things don't really start out so dreamy, as Diem and CT haven't talked to each other since, well, pretty much since the last time they appeared on screen together, and there's a lot of hurt feelings still between the two, with Diem still holding a grudge over CT hooking up with Siobhan, and CT being understandably upset with Diem for not supporting him through the most difficult time of his life, with her failing to attend his brother's funeral.
No, I wasn't together with CT in the duel too, but I'm furious at him for what he did with Siobhan. It's gross.
Right after my brother passed away, she was telling me she was gonna come out and be there for me. You know, I was getting close to the wake. No word from her. We're at the wake. No word from her. And then I get a low budget text saying that she screwed up her flight info. I honestly felt like I was always there for Diem. And the really only one time I really needed her, she wasn't there for me. And it hurt.
All of this tension between them and the fact that they don't really talk about it results into a less than ideal working environment. But to be honest, it's really funny watching them argue and bicker like an old married couple during the daily challenges. And it's even better when they manage to finally talk about their feelings, apologizing to each other, and finally start to get along. And from now on, it's back to them being cute together, making me wish they would just cut the crap and get back together already.
Alright, don't get mad at me either, alright? I'm gonna molest you when you get up there. All over her body.
Obvious that you're like this great athlete and everything. And I know that.
Whoa, back that up. Did you say something nice? It sounded like something nice. That's why I'm like, wait, it couldn't have been that.
And aside from one little hiccup where the two of them get very drunk and get into an argument where they both throw deep-cut insults at each other.
I was happy I left you, and I was happy I moved on. You're a monster and I'm not.
Yeah, okay.
I've never pushed someone's head against the wall.
Yeah, okay. Most of my family, they couldn't stand you. They thought you were fake as.
They actually do manage to kick ass this season, after another heartfelt apology, of course. This roller coaster of emotions finally concludes with them being in a good place, and with them finally forgiving each other for their past mistakes, they become unstoppable, winning their first daily challenge, which is conveniently a race to the altar. Their win of this particular challenge is nothing short of adorable, and it made me so happy to see them finally showing up to the game free from conflict and drama. This is made even better when they go on to win the last daily challenge, officially securing their place in the final, finally breaking Diem's curse of going home one episode from the Diem final. And this final is everything, taking place in the freezing temperatures of Iceland, and despite Diem and CT proving their strength as a team, this final will still manage to challenge them, as the competition is very tough, with Ty and Emily and Johnny and Camilla all competing for that final prize. The final begins with Diem and CT leading the pack as they make great time during the early stages. However, as the final continues, CT being a bigger guy and with the extreme temperature, he starts to struggle. He tries to push through, but ultimately his body gives out, leading to Diem and CT landing in the second place and Diem walking away with an impressive $50,000 prize. As season 22 of the challenge wraps up, Diem manages to walk away with the money but not the guy, as her and CT exit the show definitely in a better place than they were before, but not back together, much to my frustration. But all hope is not lost, as season 24, known as Rivals 2, manages to pair the two of them in another season, and this time, sparks will fly, both in good and very bad ways. While Diem was thriving on the challenge, proving her strength as a competitor on the show, her life outside of the game was about to take another tragic hit. And this came in the form of her second cancer diagnosis in 2012. After 6 years of being cancer-free, Diem would have to face another round of surgical interventions as well as chemotherapy in her battle to be free of ovarian cancer. Diem would make the harrowing decision to delay her cancer treatments in hopes of harvesting her eggs and undergoing fertility treatments to ensure her ability to be a mother in the future, something which Diem sadly would never get to experience.
And shortly after my 6-year in the clear remission mark, I got ovarian cancer again. And he did the internal ultrasound within 2 seconds. His eyes got big. I don't know how this is missed. It's big again. It's the size of a cantaloupe. I was lucky the first time to beat it. Like, ovarian cancer isn't a very easily beatable cancer. And then finding out the second time, I remember telling my doctor, he's like, well, it's more aggressive. He's like, do you want it the stage? I'm like, not after that comment. No, I don't want it on the stage, because the last time it was stage 3. So what is this one?
Well, basically it was a complete shock. Like, I didn't understand really that it could come back again. Like, I was told the ovary was gone, and then I just didn't think it would ever come back again. And so finding out that you have it a second time, it's like, I've already done this. I thought I was over it. And so now it's kind of just being able to kind of push forward. And now it's the fact that I only have 1 ovary left, and they're going to remove the rest of it. So now I have to make sure about freezing eggs and learning about menopause. So all these things that I wasn't thinking about the first time.
After completing her second rounds of treatments and losing her hair once again, Diem would receive her invitation to join the challenge for her 6th appearance on the show. Season 24 of the challenge, known as Rivals 2, aired in 2013, and filming for this show took place in Phuket, Thailand. This season teams up Diem with her rival Anissa, and it once again puts her in an environment with her ex CT, although this time their relationship seems to be much healthier, with the two of them being friendly towards each other. During the earlier episodes of the show, Diem talks about her ovarian cancer returning, and the impact that it had left on her life once again. And in a familiar moment, CT is there to help her on her post-chemotherapy hair and self-image. And honestly, I can't help but love CT for always being there for Diem and supporting her throughout the most difficult times of her life. But just because I, and probably most people watching this video, ship the two of them, that sadly doesn't mean they're exactly back together. In fact, CT is single and ready to mingle, and mingle he does, with rookie player Anna, who he has a really weird hookup with, mostly for game purposes, in the process leading her on and basically toying with her emotions. Their dramatic and very short-lived relationship ends with her slapping the shit out of him a few times, in a moment which I can't lie, I found to be hilarious.
There's a part of me that worries that I do like him a little bit more than I should.
I'm attracted to Anastasia. But I mean, it's not like that. It's not like I'm crushing on this girl. We're having fun. You said, and that's one less vote against me.
When I see like CT and Diem together, it worries me just simply because maybe there's a side to CT that I don't know.
I am not a bad guy.
Don't act like you're not disrespectful to me.
Did I promise you something? You're that girl who likes to run her mouth because she's a girl, and it's not fair.
You. He's fired. Jesus.
No, stop.
She's slapping the crap out of him. He's getting stuck in the face by her and kicked in the balls numerous times. Anastasia's a whack job.
And with Anna getting eliminated, CT is once again back to heavily pursuing Diem, and it starts working as throughout the season they get closer and closer, with them finally kissing on a night out. CT thinks it's going somewhere, but drunk Diem passes out on his bunk bed and she doesn't remember the kiss the next day.
I don't know what to expect, but I know it's gonna be good. Look at that, she just passed on me like that. She was about to tell me she loved me. Now she's just lying. You know, it's funny too, because I'm like, making a bet, like, oh, I'm gonna get me some Diem. And she's just like, pretty expecting Diem to not remember anything in the morning. So I made this card. It's called the Diem card, aka the I forgot cause it's true card.
I don't remember kissing CT at all.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember.
I don't know if it was a mental block.
Couldn't have happened.
Kind of wish I remembered.
Focusing more on a game level, Diem's and Anissa's partnership this season is pretty dysfunctional. They don't really communicate with each other, and they are playing the game in two completely different styles, with Diem wanting to train all the time while Anissa wants to take things more easily and just go with the flow, refusing to run with Diem when she asks her to. But despite their dysfunctional relationship and zero communication, the two do manage to win a daily challenge. This, as well as their alliance to the other vets in the game, with them being friends with most of the vets in the house, carries them all the way to episode 10, which is of course the episode before the final. And in a theme that has been constant across this video, it's here where things would fall apart for Diem once again. Diem's exit from season 24 is complicated and it's messy, and it all revolves in a way around her complicated and messy relationship to CT. After their shared kiss midway through the season and their alliance being strong, with them constantly saying they have each other's back, they obviously have a strong connection. However, this is tested when Diem and Anissa lose the final daily challenge, sending them for elimination. With so much at risk and with the final literally being around the corner, Diem goes on a campaign to influence the votes of the remaining players in hopes of them voting in Camilla and Jemmy instead of the much stronger team of Emily and Paula. She assumes that CT and his partner Wes, who she had a strong, obvious alliance with, would vote her way, but evidently things don't work out that way, leaving Diem feeling betrayed and played, especially towards CT, who doesn't vote her way, and well, an argument takes place.
I mean, what kind of person would I be if I didn't help you get into the final? You like me again? You falling for me again? Love and marriage? What the friends? Oh, this? Stop pumping out kids now?
Oh, wait, stop.
Protect Paul and Emily.
I'm trying to protect me. Like, I want to be in the final. You throwing in Paul and Emily's like, bye.
But Diem, like, we can't do everything for you.
I stuck my neck out for these people. Wes has been my friend for years, and CT's been my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. I feel kind of duped.
This whole mess of a situation is made worse when Camilla, who's Diem's close friend inside and outside of the game, finds out that Diem has been trying to send her in for elimination, which results into a screaming match between the two.
Perfect! I thought it wasn't an act, and now it's an act. I see it. I've done nothing wrong. You really think I can't beat your ass? You're so out of this world. But you lied to her. Listen, no, not the one that you're lying to. No, listen, actually you are. Actually, you are. Actually, I'm not. The higher you raise your voice, the lower I'll raise mine. Because I don't speak that way. Oh, okay. You were raising your voice. And now Jimmy's singing up for herself. I know. I never liked her. I tried. I'm sorry I tried. It's my bad.
No?
Sorry I tried.
I don't really care if you like me or not.
Aw, that's cute. No, you're funny.
Funny and a winner.
Give me 1 minute. Here's mine.
I don't care, save it. Don't care.
She said she doesn't care. There we go. I tried to like the girl. It's my bad.
Tension in the house continues to rise as Diem basically blows up her game. And I'm sorry, but during this scene where she walks around with her wine glass, she does come off as a bit stuck up and unlikable, especially when she picks a fight with Cook. Diem and Anissa do get their way when Jordan and Marlon throw their vote on Camilla and Jemmy, sending them in the final elimination against Diem and Anissa. But despite getting their wish and facing off against what they perceive to be the weaker team, sadly Diem and Anissa lose the elimination, sending Diem home once again 1 episode from the final. I'm getting tired of saying that. And I'm aware that there is a lot of people who think Diem comes off as entitled during the season. And I mean, yeah, she does, a little bit. But I have to defend her when it comes to the CT side of things. Like the two of them dated and were kinda dating this season. Moreover, CT spent the entire first half of the season pursuing her, flirting with her and trying to make her jealous. Until, well, it worked and he got her. So yeah, I understand why she would be expecting him to vote her way, since it seemed like she would be voting in his best interest as well. Add to that the fact that they have been working together in an alliance since day one. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that I would be upset too, especially if I kept getting eliminated 1 episode from the damn final on almost every season I appeared on. But anyways, moving on to Diem's 8th and final appearance on the series, which took place during filming of season 26, known as the Battle of the Exes 2. This season comes 2 years after her appearance on The Duel, and Diem is once again in remission, and her goal is to win the money to support her dreams of having children in the future.
If I won this money, it'd be my fairy tale dream. I know people are sick of hearing me talk about cancer. Trust me, I was sick of living with cancer, removed my ovaries, and if I'm going to have kids, I need a surrogate. And I have to pay anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 per kid. So, winning this prize, I could have 4 kids in the oven at the same time and get back on track and start my life.
Now, as you probably guessed from the season's name, that being Battle of the Exes 2, this season Diem finds herself once again partnered up with CT, and they are so cute. Pretty much from episode 1, I just love them and love where their relationship is. There's no drama, no fights, which makes for excellent team dynamics.
You gotta kick some ass. How you been, Molly? Good?
think about me? Too soon? Too soon?
Stop.
Have a little tea meeting, anything you need, help you sleep better. If you need me to come up there and tuck you in, I mean, I won't want to, but I will. As my team.
What do you think it is?
And while Diem starts off the first episode strong, competing in her usual badass way, she does struggle during episode 2, where she is seen having severe abdominal pain after competing in an eating challenge, where the players had to eat massive amounts of peanut butter. This causes Diem to go to the hospital as she really isn't feeling well, and when CT finds out, he insists on going to see her. He doesn't let up until the producers call Diem and she tells him that she is feeling better and will be coming back to the house in a few hours' time. Diem's symptoms return the next day, but this time the pain is even worse, leaving her unable to walk. This finally causes the producers to send her home, escorted by medical staff, where she can get the medical care she needs. CT leaves the game as well.
I'm at a point in my life where I want to just live life. I want the white picket fence dream. I want to get married. I want to have kids. And I think for the longest time, I'm not gonna lie, I was a runaway bride. I've been the girl that's terrified of commitment, but I'm realizing that no matter how organized your ducks are, life can turn on 2 seconds. So you can't keep on waiting, because if you keep on waiting, it's gone. But having a partner like CT with me gives me some sort of weird relief that I know somebody is in my corner. And that feels comforting.
Diem Brown, aged 32 years old, was diagnosed with cancer for the 3rd time. After being airlifted to a New York hospital post her Battle of the Axis exit, the doctors would discover a tumor blocking her colon, and she would be rushed for emergency surgery. During the surgery, the doctors would discover more masses, which resulted into her going in for surgical intervention 3 days after her first procedure. She remained in the ICU for what is reported to be a 3 weeks duration. After recovering from the multiple surgeries, Diem would have to undergo another round of chemo. And while Diem tried to keep a positive attitude throughout this grueling journey for survival, saying, quote, "I'm so fortunate to have a platform as I know I'm not the only one out there going through something like this. I promise to keep trucking alone, if for nothing else but others who need to know it is possible to beat this horrible disease once and for all," unquote. She would soon receive devastating news when the doctors informed her that the cancer has now spread to both her liver as well as her lymph nodes. Diem would take to Twitter to share her final message with the world when she tweeted, quote, "I need prayers and advice. My doctors are seemingly giving up, but I won't and I can't roll over. Whatever option I have to live, I'm grabbing," unquote. 3 days after Diem made this post, she would pass away on November 14th, 2014 at 10:22 a.m., surrounded by her family and loved ones. One of Diem's closest friends, who was present the night Diem passed away, would later make a statement to ABC News saying, "Brown died at 10:22 a.m., exactly the same time she was born in 1982. Soon after that, the hospital alarm fire triggered. There were strobe lights, and it was so loud, like a dance club. All of our hearts stopped. It was classic Diem. She was up there having a dance-off. It could not have been more fitting. It was like, yep, she did that." Diem's co-stars on the challenge would post tribute to their friend in the wake of her death, with CT especially understandably taking it the hardest. CT has been there by her side in the last days of her life, and a news article posted by Mail Online reported that he might have actually proposed to her before her passing, not once, but twice. At the time, it was reported that he visited the television personality in her hospital room and proposed as he got down on one knee with a ruby ring in hand, but Diem joked that she hated rubies and said no. However, CT was unrelenting as he came back the next day with a different ring to pop the question again, but Diem continued to stand firm with her decision. Quote, "Diem knew she didn't have much longer to live," the source for US Weekly said, "and she didn't want to be engaged under those circumstances," unquote. In conclusion of this very sad video, I want to take this final chapter to celebrate Diem's life and her legacy. Across my channel, you can find a lot of videos with me criticizing the challenge players for what I feel like is wasting their quote-unquote fame and letting the toxic environment of reality television get the best of them. But in Diem's case, I hardly have anything negative to say. What Diem managed to do on her short time on Earth and even shorter time on reality television is nothing short of amazing, and I have so much respect for her. Not only did Diem Brown appear on television, but she touched the lives of millions of people watching. She exhibited an unimaginable amount of grace in her fight against cancer, not once, not twice, but 3 times, never giving up and always having a smile on her face, managing to spread a message of hope, resilience, and strength each time she graced our screens with her appearance. And while I can sit here and tell you how disappointed I am that Diem never won a challenge title throughout her career on the show, that would be pretty pointless, as Diem's story on reality television and what it represented means way more than that. From her epic love story with CT, to her amazing dance moves and badass moments on the daily challenges, to the charity she started to support cancer patients and their families, Diem Brown was truly unforgettable.